Well, hello everybody. Car Chronicles. How you guys doing? All right, you ready? Let's talk about narcissists and sex. Ooh, you ready? Sex put in the proper perspective can be a beautiful thing. It's the closest two human beings can ever get to each other. For pleasure or procreation should not be a selfish act. Well, for the narcissist, everything is a selfish act. I remember speaking to a narcissist and they were dropping bits of nuggets. Now, I don't know if that was good nuggets or bad nuggets, but he did say that the worst sex can ever be is good. Now, keep in mind, you have different types of narcissists. You do have the cerebral narcissist and you do have the somatic narcissist. The cerebral narcissist is more focused on the attention or the intelligence. They get high off of intellect. Sex is not a big thing to them, but they do understand that sex can lock someone in. Sex can be used to gain control and bring someone in because the other person desires sex and wants sex from that individual. But that narcissist is not truly into sex the way that that person is into sex, but they do know to use sex is to grab them, to pull them closer, to get control. A somatic narcissist is all about themselves. So you can see these somatic narcissists, with mirrors, but they're really checking themselves out. They're not looking at you guys having sex. They're checking themselves out because they're so in love with themselves. They know to use sex in their mind is to cause someone to fall in love. But they look at sex as power and control. That I can control you, especially if I can make it as good as it possibly can get. But I can control you and I can control your answers, your yeses and your nos. Or if I punish you, I can punish you by taking sex away from you. Now, some of your experiences are that was the best experience you've ever had when it came to sex. And for some of you said it was garbage. It was a waste of time. But a narcissist is not concerned about how you feel during sex, and to them, it's more of a release. Remember, narcissists don't connect the way that you connect. They don't have compassion and empathy the way that you have compassion and empathy. They have cognitive empathy, but they don't have emotional empathy. So they don't try to connect to people on a higher level, especially through sex. To them, sex is like a chore. They do that because that's supposed to be a part of the relationship. They get a release from it, but not the type of pleasure and the deep feelings or connections with other people. Some of you guys are thinking, well, when I had sex with the narcissist, the one that you were with or whatever, they looked like they were pleased. They looked like they were just into me. But you have to remember that narcissists mirror people. And even during the sexual act, they're watching what you're doing, how you're responding. So they know how to not respond, but react. So they're watching you to see how you're reacting. So whatever it is that they're doing, they'll just repeat it. And then their expectation is that the reaction is the same like yours. If they don't get the same reaction, they're angry. Go to part 2. Car Chronicles, Narcissists and Sex, part 2. So you wonder how they get so good at what they do, especially within the sexual act, right? It's because of the fact that they move from supply to supply to supply. And supply trains narcissists. Narcissists pay attention and they focus on your reactions. What do you do? How do you do? What do you tell them you like? What you tell them you don't like? And then they just practice on other people. And if you're really into the act, then they use that as a means of controlling you. They'll punish you and take it away, or use it as power and control. They control. You're mad at them. You're angry. They got caught up doing something. What do? They have sex with you. And what do? You lower your defensives and decide, I'm going to forgive. During the sexual act, a lot of your secrets come out. You say a lot of things that you would not normally say when you're not in the act of sex. And a narcissist knows that as well. You'll tell secrets. You'll tell them things that they want to know. And they know how to restrain themselves. They won't tell you everything. They'll tell you just enough to open you up. Ladies and gentlemen, your worth is not in what you can do sexually or how you perform. You see too many young women now that are priding themselves or finding their value or their worth in the type of sexual acts they can do, what they can do, how they can do, what they do. But remember this is what my mentor told us. What she said is that men will promise relationships to get sex. Women will offer sex in order to get relationships. And remember, sex does not equal love. Sex will just equal sex. Some of you've noticed that it began off very passionately and there was a connection and it was so great. The experiences were so great when you two came together and you had sex. And as the situationship continued, you noticed that they do the same thing over and over again. It's like they're mechanical. Everything is methodical. Everything is Only at nighttime, only at this time, only when I do this. And then you notice that the passion is gone, because a lot of times it's you that's built up the momentum, but that passion is gone. And you notice that they always have the same look. They do the same thing. They turn the same way. They say the same things. And then when it's all over with, you just feel no connection. You almost feel like, I'm not even going to say it because that's a horrible word, the R word. You feel like you've been violated. Like, what was this? And you feel empty afterward. You feel empty and you feel void. Some of them become violent. Some of them become very aggressive. And in the act, it feels almost like they're the only ones in the room. Like you're not even there. You become an object. Say my name, say my name. Who are you talking to? And they're looking at the mirror at their own selves, not at you. You're just there. But for many, they keep going back and they get more and more entangled.